Hey, welcome guys. Doesn't this look the same? Well, no, guess what? It's a brand new world. And the reason why is the guys on the server were all bored, saying, the dragon's already dead. There's nothing to do. Can we please start another world? And so I started another world, and guess what? I decided to see as far as I could get without killing the dragon. So that the guys can never say, oh, the dragon's dead. Let's start a new world. So let's see what progress I have made without having to kill the dragon. And I think you're going to be kind of amazed. So starting off, let's check out my gear. As you can see, it's all netherite. Yep, I've got an all netherite gear. So let's continue the tour. First stop is the iron farm. Second stop is the mob farm, which comes with fish. The crops. And if you have crops, you gotta have livestock. We've got cows. We've got sheep. We gotta generate fertilizer for our crops. We got our automatic cooker. This is where you stick the wood in. There's none in there right now. This is where you stick the stuff you want cooked in. This is where the excess charcoal is left over comes out. And here's where the cooked stuff comes out. And you see I have tons of junk. And my librarians, all the enchants that you would ever need. And this is where I get XP. Because as you know, I didn't kill the dragon. So there isn't having an Enderman XP form. So, there you go. So this is in plain sight where the other guys can see on the server. Sort of little things I've left around, and they've already been in my farm. Didn't replant. So annoying. Some little things I've done on top to confuse them. So, because I didn't kill the dragon, I wasn't satisfied with just leaving it at that and letting them kill the dragon, since they never do it anyway. I decided that I was going to make killing the dragon even harder. And so this leads into a wonderful opportunity to do those things that we oh so love. Time lapse with original music. So as you probably have noticed, I have a Elytra, even though I haven't killed the dragon. So, hey, I'll leave that to you to figure out how I did that. But, in continuing on, as you saw, while I was putting down those ender crystals, that the dragon was charging off of them. So, hopefully that makes it a little more difficult if the other people on the server ever decide to go and try and kill the dragon. But hey, I never did in the past. I always ended up doing, so we'll see what happens. Oh, look at this. It is a double spider XP farm. X marks the spot. You stand here, both of the spawners are active. This is kind of a dummy for the other guys on the server to think that they found something that's mine, but really, I don't use it. I use the villagers down in my other base to get my XP. So, while we're on the topic of other people on the server, why don't we go check out one of the other bases. So here we are. Pretty basic build. A couple of beds. Some things to cook with. A back door. Something that looks like a basement. This seems to be heading down into a mine of some sort. Oh, I see. It's actually a big old cave. Huh? I guess they're making some progress. So what we're looking down on is a super fantastic, brand new type of slime farm. Actually, it's pretty inefficient and lag-inducing because there's tremendous number of hoppers involved. But, you know, whenever I've built slime farms in the past, one of the issues you have is you typically drive those with an iron golem. And you always come back to them and the iron golems are gone. Because no matter how well you try to shield those guys, the slimes manage to get at them. And so this is my attempt to get rid of that issue. I noticed when I used water like this in a slime farm that I had before, that the slimes like to swim up the water and then fall to their deaths. And so this is a farm where I try to harvest that behavior. And it actually works fairly well. And since there are no iron golems, you're never going to come back to it and have it fail because the iron golems have all died. So, for the two people that have watched my stuff before, you know that I actually run two servers. I have the Kill or Be Killed server, or have what I refer to as the Pretty server. It's the stuff I try to do the nice builds on. It's the thing where I did the big Yama build on. Anyway, I had a really old world from a long time ago that had a bunch of houses in it that I wanted to work on. But they're on Bedrock, and this Pretty server used to be on Bedrock also. And so I've seen there are ways to try to like copy chunks from one world to another world, so I decided to try it. And so what I did was I copied those chunks over from that really old world that I had those buildings in over to this world so that I could work on them, and I didn't have to be in single edit mode. I could do it in Java, or I could do it in Bedrock because I have guys are running on this server also. But one of the issues that I have is I brought the Pretty server over from Bedrock, and all the Bedrock chunks that came over in the Pretty server, they don't blend at all with new chunks that get generated. And so when I brought this new stuff over, I actually deleted 2 chunks around the edge of the world of the chunks that I brought in, and it blended those guys pretty well, but where it met the chunks that were in the Pretty server, it's just like a hard edge. It's doing the exact same thing it was doing before. It's not blending at all. So where these buildings are, as you move out, there are 2 chunks on the edge. It's mostly those pine trees, and it's blending really well. But right at the very edge, where everything I brought in, plus the 2 chunks that I deleted, meet the world, it's like a sharp boundary. And I haven't figured out how to get the stuff to blend that yet. Maybe one day I'll do, and if I ever do, I'll tell you guys all about it. So I'm going to end up here and encourage you to go watch my short that I just released recently. Try to get past the first 10 seconds. If you do, it'll be worth your while. And in the meantime, this is Yo Soy Bimblebob saying, don't do what I do, like and subscribe.